guys, hope you all are doing well. I'm Vinny, and in this video, I'm going to explain the new Gyro settings for controller. If you want to know about the other settings, I have made a video about them, which you can find in my tips and tricks playlist in my channel. Now Gyro is basically the motion sense in the Wii remote, but for PlayStation 4 and 5 controllers only. Instead of moving your right analog stick to look around, you can physically rotate your controller to look around. For me, I've never had to use motion sense with the PS4 controller, so it was hard for me to use Gyro, but after some testing and playing around, I got a good setup for beginners. So here are the settings of Gyro, which is under the Touch and Motion tab. On screen are the settings that I feel is good to start with, which obviously along the way, once you're used to it, you can change it to your playstyle or completely turn it off. Active mode in combat, you've got none, scope only, scope or aiming, scope, aiming, harvesting, and always. Scope and aiming is a good start, especially if you've never used motion sense before. Scoped is only with the sniper. Having it always on can be tricky because the issue with motion sense is that you can't reset where you're looking unless it's bind or set like it says in the description. You could have harvesting too, but it's like having it always on. It'll get tricky. Also, quick note that I discovered with the MK7 rifles. You had to pull down on the analog stick to control the recoil, but with Gyro on, the recoil is better controlled when you rotate your controller downwards. Active mode while building, you got none, editing, and always. I put it on none for now. Maybe if I get more used to Gyro, I may put it on editing to give me that extra bit of speed or precisioning with my crosshair. I wouldn't put it on always for the same reasons as in combat. Look stick effect, which is your right analog stick. You've got none, disables, and enables. This basically means if you want your stick to control the gyro or not. I didn't see any difference on PC, but on PlayStation, when you put it on disable, it looks laggy because gyro is supposed to be disabled, but it's not. Enable and none are fine on either platform. Sensitivity, as explained in the description, it's how much the camera turns according to how much you rotate your controller. Around 0.7 I feel is a good start. Vertical and horizontal ratio. This is how much more or less you want the camera to go vertical compared to horizontal. If you have your vertical and horizontal look sense in the controller tab different from each other, then you can change the ratio according to how much different your look sense are. The right number is vertical and the left is horizontal. If it's by a lot, then do maybe 0.7 to 1. If it's just slightly, then maybe 0.9 to 1 will do. That's if your horizontal look sense is higher. If your vertical look sense is higher, then switch the numbers around. Steadying, as explained in the description, is the smoothness or roughness you want the look to be. There's a very small difference between putting this to the max and to the min, so I will just leave it at 5. Acceleration, as also explained in the description, is how much faster you want the look to move when you turn your controller quickly. I put it on off because I'm still not very used to gyro, but low, which is the 1.5x times, is a good start. Flick stick. Now this changes how the analog stick works completely. Instead of being able to move the analog stick all around, you can only flick it to one direction and use gyro to look up and down. As a player who has used analog stick for a while, I don't find it very effective except for the fact that you can turn 180 degrees really fast, faster than those AI bots. I would say first get used to gyro before trying out the flick stick, because it can completely change your playstyle. Advanced gyro options. When you turn this on, you'll get more options, like in the controller tab. These extra options basically fine-tune how you want gyro to work. You don't need to change any of these until you're used to Gyro, but I'll briefly explain what these are. Multipliers. These are the amount times the sensitivity you have set above. It will also only apply to the active modes you've set. Zoom scale sensitivity, as explained in the description, reduces your aim when you aim down sight with L2. Gyrospace, as explained in the description, is how inputs are converted in the camera's I have no idea how to say that, and pitch rotations. I'll explain what that and pitch are in the next options. To be honest, I don't understand what this local and player are, even with the descriptions, so moving on. Quick maths lesson. That weird word is the b-axis, which is the height, roll is the x-axis, which is the length, and pitch is the y-axis, which is the width. I don't actually understand how it's applied in Gyro, so I'm gonna leave it there. These advanced gyro filters fine-tune the steadying, which is disabled since the advanced options are on. These are explained in the descriptions. These advanced gyro options take effect if you have a gyro modifier button bind in your controller buttons tab. The options are also explained in the descriptions. Now, some quick updates. I made my first tips and tricks video about the weapons, and since then there has been changes to the damage count and other statistics, so I have made a comment under that video about the new changes. So do check that out if you want to know about the latest statistics of weapons. Speaking of weapons, since my last tips and tricks video, there were 2 weapons added back into the game, the grenade launcher and the heavy shotgun. If you haven't tried these weapons yet, this grenade launcher shoots grenades basically. This has a different statistic than what it was before, which SypherPK has made a video about. I'll put the link to that video in the description. The heavy shotgun, also known as the sniper shotgun, can not only deal decent close damage, but can also deal high damage from a far distance, as it only shoots 1 pellet at a time, rather than 4 or more like the other shotguns. So that's the new gyro settings for controller that they've added into Fortnite, and all the new items added since my last tips and tricks video. Have a play around with them, maybe you'll like them, maybe you won't. We all have different playstyles, so it's fine. If you're new to my channel, I upload Battle Royale videos, and I occasionally upload tips and tricks videos too. Feel free to look at my videos, and if you like them, press that like button so I know, and subscribe to watch my latest videos. See ya!